morning, friends. Jay from Cold Nights back again with another Coffees and Consoles. So, I think today we're going to be unboxing a couple of neat things I got in the mail. And then we're going to take a look at 5 of my favorite DS games that I suggest you check out in 2025. So, as per usual, we're going to get started with some coffee. So today we have the But First coffee mug featuring our awesome Snorlax. And today we are doing blueberry muffin coffee from Dunkin's. So let's try it out. It doesn't taste bad, but I definitely... Hold on a second. The blueberry is very faint. Very faint. Not bad though. I did put a little bit of milk in, and a little bit of sugar. So it's good, but not quite the blueberry taste I was looking for. Yeah, not bad. But not up to that blueberry expectation. So, we're going to look at a couple really cool things that I ordered. So, the first thing looks like... I'm not sure which one this is, but we're going to find out. So, let's see what we got. Oh, yes. Look at this beauty. Silent Hill Xbox controller holder. Now, these controllers are going for like $300 or $400 now. It's pretty ridiculous. But this controller holder looks incredible. So, let's get this thing open and take a look at just how cool it looks. Because it looks pretty cool. This Stormy freaking out over there. Oh, dude, this looks really good. Alright, so let's gonna hold this up right here. It is like a beautiful Silent Hill sign that I think is like kind of like the one located right outside the ranch as you're walking into Silent Hill. And on the back, you have your place to put your controller. So, let's see how my purple one I like to use for Steam gaming sits in there. Look at that. It's beautiful. Love it. Fits right in there perfectly. I love this. I want to say I picked this up for around like $30. I love Silent Hill to death. So I thought this would be a really cool way to keep my controller that I use for Steam, because I'm definitely not an Xbox player, and PC gaming holstered. So that's pretty cool. I definitely love this thing. Alright, so that kind of narrows down what the next ones will be. So this one kind of leads into one of the games we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and try to get this open. This is kind of like boxed weird. I don't even know how to open this. Holy cow. Let's we'll try it this way. Okay. We're getting there. Okay. Pink paper. Oh, here we go. We almost have it out of the box. Okay. It is freed from the box. Pink paper. Oh, this is awesome. One of my favorite characters from Bleach, and you will see Bleach come up in the games later on. Okay. This is the incredible Soython. So, I actually had been watching this figure. It's not super expensive. It's the band Presto. They do similar figures for like Sailor Moon. They're usually like $30, $40. You can get them for a pretty good price. So, but I definitely love Soifon. So, good stuff. Definitely love Bleach. So I'm glad to pick this one up. The other one I know is a game that I've been looking forward to getting. I've definitely been on a PS2 kick. So, I'll take another sip here. It definitely has more of a smell of blueberry. It's still kind of underwhelming. Smells more like blueberry though. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm not torching the game here, so we're just going to have to open this without the knife to make sure that we are not causing damage. If I remember correctly, this is in very nice condition. Oh yeah. Here we go. Look at this. Chaos Wars for PS2. I am very excited to try this one out. I had seen some gameplay of it, and I honestly don't know all that much about it. But it looked like a really cool visual novel style RPG. So definitely excited to try this one out. It's one I did not have in the collection. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. What does it say on the back? Chaos Wars brings together the heroes from Aru's, Atlas, Red, and Idea Factory. You must learn the basics of battle. Then you can complete the quests ahead of you. Recruit the best teams available. Develop and master the skills to be a warrior. Defeat your enemies and win the prize. So I do remember them saying that it was a crossover. I'm not quite sure who all the characters are, but it does look pretty neat. Let's see if this book is in great shape too. So let's see if the book talks any about the characters. Look at the book. The book looks great. Looks great. Battles, upgrades, how to check your allies. Who do we have a list of the characters here? Okay. So Hayama Kusaka, Rin Sunroad, Laru Blanchin, Hayatamaru Mudoin, Shizuku Mizuki, Hiro, Carmine, Karen, Suji Okata, Uru. Maybe I don't know them offhand, but pretty cool crossover. Might get me interested in more of those properties. Definitely excited to try this one out. So that is our pickups for today. One thing I did want to talk about. So yesterday we covered some kind of negative news with some of the quotes that were coming out with the Borderlands folks. But today's positive news. And I'm a big believer in well-rounded coverage. Like, if you're going to cover video games, I'm not going to just cover the bad things Nintendo or Microsoft does. I'm going to cover when they do something good. And Microsoft just added to their Game Pass a whole slew of retro games from Atari, from way back in the day. Like older games that look incredible. I watched a video yesterday from Metal Jesus, and he was playing a lot of them. And he said like the controls weren't perfect for them, but it's pretty cool that they added those. And they also added support for unlocking like trophies for it, like achievements. They also had, it looked like some kind of like pin system or like metal system where you could unlock those. A lot of cool stuff. And they also had leaderboards for the modern day players. So like, I was like, okay, I'm definitely not the biggest fan of the Xbox, but you can get Game Pass on PC. I'm not the hugest fan of subscription services. I don't currently have Game Pass, but I do have PS Plus, and I do have Nintendo Switch Online. But something like that really makes me consider Possibly picking up a subscription to Gamepass because of the PC aspect of it. And I don't remember the name, but there was another like retro streaming service that looked like it had a whole bunch of like PS2 games and like original Xbox games. It was Ant something. I'm gonna have to do some more research on it, but like I kind of didn't know all that was kind of brewing. Looking at all the retro games that were available on this new service, plus that other one that I was talking about, kind of makes the PS Plus offerings pale in comparison. And for PS Plus, as far as the games, I'm paying more for the older games, the PS1 classics, the PS2 classics. Yes, I play my baseball game hundreds and hundreds of hours a year, and I need online for that. But as far as the games, it's pretty cool to see a company offering that. So kudos to Microsoft. That's a good thing. We need more of that. So kudos, I appreciate that. So not all bad news all the time. So let's have another sip. I get a little more blueberry taste that time. I guess maybe you gotta get a real good mouthful. But, so with that being said, we got good news, and then we're about to talk about some incredible games that I love to death. So without further ado, let's get into it. So one of these, the first one here, it's probably worth quite a bit, and I will have the price up on the screen. But Resident Evil Deadly Silence is one of my favorite absolute games on the DS. I remember being shocked that you could get the first Resident Evil game onto the DS. And they have a second mode where it's more action-packed and some of the items are moved around, but it's a pretty faithful port. And it's just really, really cool to be able to relive this classic on the DS. The DS is one of my favorite consoles of all time. Resident Evil is one of my favorite games of all time. Match made in heaven. Or hell. But great stuff. Alright. The next one I want to talk about is one that I have fond memories of. So, on the DS, they made 3 different Bleach games. Alright? So 2 of them were these unique, really cool fighting games, and the third one was a tactical RPG. The Blade of Fate was one of those awesome fighting games. I love the foil cover, and this is one of my favorite games I've probably ever played. I was obsessed with the Bleach anime, and all of the games were so good. I didn't like Shattered Blade on the Wii, because it had motion controls. But this one, I remember coming with me on many vacations, and this was just such a fun thing to do, like in bed before laying down for the night, or while we were waiting for like an attraction while we were out, or just when you're lazing around on like the patio while you're on vacation. But it was so fun to learn all the different moves and to play through the story and see all the different things the characters would do and say when they interacted with each other. So it was a real treat. Really love this game. All 3 of them, but specifically this one, for sure. Next, we have a game that means the world to me, based on an MMO that I spent countless thousands of hours on, and this is Ragnarok DS. So, this is based on Ragnarok Online, which I played so much. Me and my fiance at the time, wife now, were obsessed when we were younger, like early 20s. We loved it to death. And when they announced this game, we were super excited. And then we had a kid. And my son was born like, I want to say like a day or 2 before this came out. And my wife was having some complications, so they were still in the hospital. And I remember I went and got our copies. And unfortunately, obviously, she just had some pretty crazy stuff happen. She was not interested in playing, but I did. Of course, I was attentive and helped out. But I was super excited to play this. And it's pretty faithful. I mean, it's not like a full MMO game, but the combat was fun. All of the abilities that you had in the game, it's kind of like scaled down. But same classic monsters, same classic character designs. Cannot get enough of this one. And this one is actually in one of my DSs. But that's our book here. So, I love these things. And as you can see, Baphomet. He was one of the main bosses, one of the MVP bosses. So, good stuff. Love Ragnarok. This one was a favorite of my wife's, and then she got me into this crazy. So, Lost Magic was something really special. So, Lost Magic allowed you to not only recruit monsters to battle with your party, but you could control them and cast spells by using the touchscreen and the stylus. So you would have to draw out runes, and you could direct where your fireballs and your magic were going, and you could direct where the monsters were going. This was a really, really cool game. And I know like it's kind of pre-Ubisoft turning evil. We'll say, I think this was developed by Taito and published by Ubisoft, but it was really incredible. Such a fun experience. I actually, when I was picking out the games I was going to cover today, I was like, I think I might go back and play this some, because it's been quite a while, and I would definitely love to jump into this again. So definitely one to check out, especially if you love the functionality with the touchscreen and the stylus. And then we have one of my favorites, and I guess you call them visual novels or like mystery games. They just had an announcement that they copyrighted or patented this term again, this title. Looks like we might be getting a collection, because we didn't get the second game here, or maybe a new release in the series, but it is Hotel Dusk Room 215. These mystery game, like, visual novels were so good. So good. So basically, they are mystery / visual novel / puzzle games, and it was games like this. It was games like Jake Hunter Detective Chronicles, games like Again. They were so good, and I have them all, and I love going back and playing them. But if you have not experienced Hotel Dusk, I don't want to ruin any of it for you. You just need to go play this. It is such an incredible game. It's not like graphic or anything, but it's definitely not for children. It's an adult mystery, intrigue, awesome characters, incredible art style. Definitely something you want to check out. But yeah, the time I've spent with the DS and 3DS and DSi and all the XLs in my life has been something really special. You know, before the Switch became like the go-to kind of like hybrid, but I use it mostly in handheld mode. The DS, you know, like I love my Vita. I loved my PSP. The DS, they just had better games. The Nintendo handhelds have always been top dog. And I'll never argue that, even as a former Sony fanboy. And someone who's very mad at Nintendo right now, the DS can't be beat. I could make 100 more videos listing off 5 great games on the DS and have infinite fodder. Unfortunately, my collection is probably around 100 games. I really want to increase it. Even some of like the shovelware type games are pretty fun. But I love the DS, and I definitely suggest you guys check out these games. And on the PS2, I definitely suggest you check out Chaos Wars. And I also suggest that maybe take a look at Gamepass on PC or Xbox if you already have one. Don't go out and buy another Xbox, because they're more expensive. But there is some pretty cool retro stuff stirring on Game Pass. But guys, I thank you for tuning in this morning. We somewhat enjoyed some blueberry coffee. We probably enjoyed the mug a little bit more, but we'll have one final sip. But thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow. As always, stay creepy. Bye, guys.